This Pendle Council livestream will start in just a few minutes. You can view tonight's meeting agenda by visiting pendle.gov.uk/meetings, where the upcoming meeting notes are available to view. We will go live very soon.
All of the future Pendle meeting agendas, as well as previous meeting reports and minutes, can be viewed on the Council website at pendle.gov.uk/meetings. Tonight's session will start shortly.
Thank you. Please take your seat. Thank you everyone for coming down. And Thursday, 15th of May 2025 at 6 o'clock, it's the Council Chamber in Nelson Town Hall, and it's could I go for election of Mayor of Borough Council? Councillor Iqbal.
Mr. Mayor, fellow councillors, distinguished guests, assalamu alaikum and good afternoon. It gives me great pleasure to propose Councillor Mohammed Anwar as the Mayor of Pendle 2025-2026. It's a very happy day for Anwar's family today. You can see all his family and friends are gathered in this council chamber here today. and in particular his grandmother's here, and I think we're blessed to have her company. His mum and dad are here as well as his siblings and his cousins, to see their eldest child, who doesn't look the eldest one, he looks a baby still, to make them all extremely proud, and I congratulate them on behalf of the whole council. There is one notable absentee though today from today's proceedings, who I know played a major role in making Amma the man that he is today. And I refer to his blessed grandfather, Adijo Diola Tasab, who, if he was here today, would share with us that he would have never imagined 60 years ago coming to this country as an immigrant and seeing his grandson become the first citizen of our wonderful borough. He, as I know, instilled a lot of qualities in us, and we'll see those over the coming year. And amongst those qualities are hard work, patience, and one thing that you'll see with Amma is always a smile on his face. He's trying desperately to not smile this evening, but I'm sure he will do later on. I personally knew Amma's grandfather, and I can say he was an inspiration to many of us sat in this chamber and the community at large. And it's sadly a case that those people of that particular generation are no longer with us, and may God bless their souls wherever they are. I've known Amma since the day he was born, believe it or not. And he was only born 40 years ago. Because it's a fact that at the wedding of his mum and dad, I was his dad's best man at his dad's wedding, mum and dad's wedding. And I've seen Amma grow and flourish as a young man who first came into politics as a town councillor in 2009. He's since served as a Pendle Borough Councillor, serving the residents of Southfield and Marsden with determination and being a strong, powerful advocate on their behalf. I also congratulate Amma's wife and our mayoress on this special occasion, and I know she will work with her team to raise funds for her chosen charities this coming year. Colleagues, friends, I know, having served as mayor, how important her role is in not only chairing full council meetings, but going out there as the first citizen across the country and beyond, and showcasing how wonderful Pendle is. I know that Amma will bring respect to that position. I have 100% confidence in Amma's ability and charm to be a great mayor for Pendle. Mr Mayor, I move the motion.
Thank you. From the Liberal Democratic.
Mr Mayor, it gives me a great pleasure to second Councillor Amma as our first citizen, the new Mayor of Pendle. And I cannot refer, as Councillor Iqbal has done, to having known Mohammed Amma since he was a baby in arms. I've only known him as a member of Pendle Council, and serving with him on several committees and organisations. I know that he's a fair and reasonable person who will be an excellent person to occupy the seat of mayoralty, but also beyond the council chamber, someone who will be engaged with the community and the different communities across Pendle, all of whom look to look to the mayor as the leader for the whole of our communities. I think that we are looking forward to a year of exemplary chairmanship, and if it's the case that there are any failings, of course we know what's not don't we? It's a delight to see Councillor Amma's extended family here today, and everybody who's come from his family and the community to support him here. And as I said, extremely delighted seconding this proposal, looking forward to seeing you in the chair. The time was when the mayor couldn't hear these speeches and he could say various things about them that they didn't struggle on. And it was the responsibility of the proposer and seconders to drag them reluctantly into the room. And I regret that tradition has passed, because I think that there is a natural reluctance to take on that responsibility that could be reflected in the continuation of that tradition. But he sits in here, listens to everything he's saying, so we've all got to say nice things. I'm going to sit down. We've got further supporters who are going to probably say nice things, but you never know, they might come out with something. So, Mr Mayor, I second.
Could I have supported by Councillor M. Kaleem?
First of today, actually, one thing is a granddad, and we really miss him. And he was like a head of our family, and we congratulate to all the extended family, everyone, yeah. And thank you very much, Ahmed, and good luck. And we are proud of Ahmed, and we congratulate to everybody, yeah. Thank you.
Supported by Councillor Yasir Iqbal.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor, I'm honoured to support Councillor Mohammed Ahmed as the Mayor-elect of Kendal. I've been in this position as Mayor, as you know, Mr. Mayor, and it's an honour which only the people that have been in that position understand that honour. Unlike Councillor Iqbal, I haven't known him since birth, was actually his birth before me, but I've known him since about 14, 15 years. Me and Councillor Ahmed were elected together for the first time in this council chamber, and I've known him since then, and he is not only a good colleague, he's a friend, and I class him as a brother, and I think that this honour could not have been bestowed on a more nicer person than Councillor Ahmed. I think Councillor Dean Ahmed is here. He mentioned something last year which actually I think summarised his personality in a sentence or in a word. And that was something which he said, and it stuck with me because it's true, and he said he's always smiling. Because you never see Councillor Ahmed angry. I've never seen him angry, and there have been occasions when he perhaps should have got angry, but he hasn't got angry. But that personality will be tested, I think, in that chair. Hopefully he will remain as he has been, which is cheery and smiling all the time. And that is a personality which I'm sure other members of this council will see. This achievement, of course, is not only a testament to Councillor Ahmed, and of course it is an achievement which he is a part of, but actually his achievement is also down to his granddad, as we mentioned a few times, but also his father. I remember a few years ago when Councillor Ahmed became a councillor in this very chamber, we had an event, and his dad said that that was the proudest moment for him, and it's something that he worked for a number of years, or for his lifetime. And of course now, becoming the first citizen of Kendal, becoming the Mayor of Kendal, will be, of course, and I know, a huge honour for Haji Arasab, and I congratulate him personally and directly, because actually, just like my father was, you have been a key part of his success, and you have been a key part of him, his personality, and been a key part of the people that have been associated with him. So I congratulate you as a real community servant, and because of that community service, Councillor Ahmed, Mayor-elect, is in the position that he's in today. So I extend my heartfelt congratulations to both of you. But there's also one other person in this chamber which hasn't yet been mentioned. One is, of course, the Mayoress, but more importantly, more important than, I would say, the Mayor-elect and everybody else, is the Mini-Mayor. He says, of course, when the last Mini-Mayor was my son, who's no longer the Mini-Mayor that you guys have seen. He's grown a lot taller, but the Mini-Mayor is, of course, one of the key people in this room. And what I would, from experience, invite Councillor Ahmed to do is to officially make him the Mini-Mayor. I think he's now the official Mini-Mayor, and my son's lost that title a few years ago, but he will enjoy this experience, and I hope that you take him along with Trish to events, and I'm sure that it's something that he will enjoy. And if there was any other person to pass the mantle on to, I think Mr. Mini-Mayor-elect is probably the best person that could have been chosen as the Mini-Mayor. So again, I want to congratulate you, your family, your extended family, your friends, and of course, Mini-Mayor. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
All those in favour? Thank you. that Councillor Muhammad Amar be hereby elected Mayor of Borough Council for the municipal year 25-26.
This is the time when we drag you, see, the documentary idea. Nice move. Thank you very much. You're very welcome. So, come on, this is our job.
Oh no, I'll take my hands off.
There we go.
You want to go on that side?
Yeah.
You got a thing on? Yeah. What's that?
That sounded a bit funky.
What's that?
Well,
The ribbon. Okay. Where's it now?
is that right?
Does it go from this side?
Chained up now. I, Muhammad Amar, having been elected to the office of Mayor, declare that I take that office upon myself and will duly and faithfully fulfill the duties of it according to the best of my judgment and ability. I undertake to observe the code to the conduct which is accepted of members of the Pendle Borough Council. Councillors, officers, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. It is with the deepest sense of honour and responsibility that I accept the role of Mayor of Pendle. I stand before you humbled by this privilege and mindful of the trust placed in me. I pledge to be a mayor for the whole of Pendle, committed to unity, understanding and bringing together our wonderfully diverse community through the platform of this office. I begin by paying tribute to the memory of my late grandfather, was mentioned by Councillor Iqbal in his speech. A man whose wisdom, humility and unwavering commitment to family and community continue to guide and inspire me every single day. His example has shaped my values, and it is with him in my heart that I embrace this role, striving to serve with the same quiet dignity he so naturally embodied. I also wish to express my deepest gratitude to my parents, whose sacrifices, encouragement and values laid the foundation for everything I am today. In particular, I thank my father for his steady support, tireless work ethic and the strength of character he has instilled in me. I carry his lessons with me into this role and throughout my life. My heartfelt thanks to my wife, Ghulam Kibra, who will serve alongside me as mayoress. To my family and the residents of Marsden and Southfield Ward, thank you for enduring support and belief in me all over these years. Your trust has brought me to this platform, and I will work hard to serve you and the entire borough with integrity, impartiality and care. As one of the younger members of the council and one of the youngest mayors in Lancashire this year, I especially look forward to engaging with our schools, particularly our primary schools. I warmly invite them to visit the town hall, to use the council chambers for debates and activities, and to see local democracy in action.
in a way that is both educational and fun. As Mayor, I believe it is essential that we shine a light on those in our community who are most vulnerable and in need of our support. I have chosen to champion two outstanding causes during my mayoral year: Darien House Children's Hospice, which provides care and comfort to children with life-limiting conditions and support to their families; Samaritans of Pendle, Burnley, Craven and Rosendale. I invite my colleagues and the wider community to stand with me in supporting these vital organizations. Their work represents the very best of Pendle: compassion, generosity and unwavering commitment to building a better future for all. Before I close, I would like to sincerely thank the councillors who moved my nomination, seconded and supported it. Your confidence and encouragement mean a great deal to me, and I'm truly grateful for your trust in my ability to serve our borough with dedication and care. Let us look ahead to a year marked by unity, service and collective betterment of everyone who calls Pendle home. Thank you. Item 2 minutes. We have a mover.
Mr. Mayor.
We have a seconder. All those in favour? That's carried. Vote of thanks to the retiring Mayor, Councillor Ashcliffe.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and congratulations on your elevation. When we think about the role of Mayor, it takes hard work, it takes dedication, it takes a certain amount of flair and flamboyance, I think, wearing a robe such as this to draw attention to yourself. So I could think of nobody more fitting to have served the last 4 months than Councillor Aslam. He certainly does that, and he does it with hard work and kindness as well. I was very privileged to attend the King's Garden party last year and happened to bump into Mr. Aslam. I didn't actually know he was there, and happened to mention that my phone was running out of charge, and his kindness just knows no bounds. He immediately said, "Don't worry, I've got a charger. You can plug into my charger." And pulled it out of his pocket. It was the biggest battery I've ever seen. I thought he needed to have a Ford Cortina around the corner. It was huge. How it didn't cause an incident, I really don't know. But that's Aslam. It will go above and beyond to serve, and it has done for the past 12 months. So thank you.
Councillor Aston will move. You second it.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor and Mayoress, my congratulations on your election, and may my best wishes for your coming year. Mr. Past Mayor, Councillor Aslam, thank you for your dedication and effort over the last year. I would also like to pay tribute to past Mayoress and your children who have supported you and attended many of the mayoral events. Some of the particular highlights of your year were the special anniversary for the 20th anniversary of Corn Grand Prix in July, and launch of the 10th year of a free Tai Chi at Victoria Park in Nelson. Events bringing the community together, such as the community barbecue at Nelson Gosia Mosque, Remembrance Sunday, the formal wreath laying ceremonies, and also the Armed Forces Day. Celebratory events like Nelson Food Festival in September and Winter Bloom Light Festival in Cole. Seasonal events, for example, called Horticultural Society that will be on Spring Flower Show. Mr. Past Mayor, you have done incredibly well to raise so much money for your children's mayoral charities. It is truly fantastic achievement and has made and will make a real difference to all your charities. Thank you.
Supported by? No. That the best thanks of council be hereby tendered to Councillor Mohammed Aslam and his mayoress Mrs. Shamim Aslam for their service as mayor and mayoress during their term of office. His Worship, the Mayor will present commemorative badges of office to Councillor Mohammed Aslam and Mrs. Shamim. All those in favour? Thank you.
Mr. Mayor.
appointment of Deputy Mayor. You will do your speech.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, Mr. Mayor, Deputy Mayor, officers and fellow councillors. As I stand before you today, I am filled with profound sense of gratitude and disbelief. It feels like a dream, one that I never imagined would come true. To serve as the 49th Mayor of Pendle has been incredible honor and privilege that I will cherish for the rest of my life. Reflecting on this past year, I want to acknowledge the tremendous effort that our community put forth during the challenges of the COVID-19 pandemic. Our council staff worked very tirelessly, giving their time to ensure the safety and well-being of our residents. We received generous gifts from organizations like Preston Asian Girls School from Preston, brought by Faz Patel and his team, pallets of regional food, Taiba Bakery, with the help of Mr. Shahab and Muhammad Asif, helped to deliver charities in Pendle. Through the year, stores provided raffle prizes, Tesco from Burnley, Morrison from Nelson, Asda from Cole. We enabled us to distribute sport throughout Pendle. I am proud to have been part of initiatives that help pack and deliver food and refreshments to those in need, especially to our homeless residents and hospitals. The spirit of community compassion has truly shown through in our collective efforts. I want to make a moment to recognize the incredible employees of Pendle Borough Council. We are fortunate to have the best officers and employees who constantly go above and beyond in the service to our community. During my tenure, I was honored to take on the role of first citizen in Pendle, marked significant milestones including the special celebration of Pendle at 50. At the beginning of my year, we commemorated the 80th anniversary D-Day, attending church services to pay tribute to those who served in support of our veterans. I made the Armed Forces Support Group one of my chosen charities. Working to raise awareness, promote, volunteer and generate funds for the important initiative. Supporting the young people of Pendle has always been the central focus of my tenure. I participate in events organized by Lancashire Fire and Rescue King's Trust, including a project handover ceremony at Hajj House Community Centre in Nelson. The Pendle Youth Employment Sport Yes Hope has been another vital initiative that I visited multiple times, and I was honored to attend the official opening of the Cone Youth Action Group Hope, where we strive to empower our youth. Additionally, it has been a joy engaged with the older members of the community, such as the summer fair held at Andrew Smith's nursing home. My second chosen charity was Pendleside Hospice, and I was privileged to attend the Pendleside Community Day there, supporting vital local service throughout my term. I undertook various engagements across Pendle, including the Pendle Businesses Awards at Fence Gate, where I promoted the exceptional work of our local businesses. I was delighted to attend the grand opening of the newly refurbished Cone Community Theatre, celebrating culture and community. One of the highlights of my year was hosting the Mayor's People of Pendle Volunteers Recognition Awards in collaboration with Burnley, Pendle and Rosendale Council for Voluntary Service in March. As my term came to close, I had the honour of participating in the 80th anniversary V-Day services, reflecting on our shared history. In recent days, I have continued to stay active in our community. Just this morning, I attended ASDA's 60th birthday community awards at ASDA Cole, celebrating those who make outstanding contributions to our community. I also had the unique opportunity to meet and shake hands with the King at the Garden Party 2024, an experience that will forever be etched in my memory. I travelled to France, where I signed a partnership agreement for the next 50 years of twinning with Crete, and another agreement for the next 30 years of twinning with the town Germany, Mark. These connections enrich our community and foster friendships across borders, something I deeply value. I arrived in the UK in 1966, never dreaming that one day I would be a councillor, let alone the mayor of Pendle. This journey has been guided by the prayers of my parents. My father passed away when I was a child in 1971, so I was brought up by my mother, especially my mother, so whose faith in has been my greatest motivation. I often find myself wishing that my parents were here to witness this moment. Their love and their guidance helped shape the person I am today, and this achievement would not have been possible without their influence in my life. As I reflect on my journey, I am truly grateful for the unwavering support of my family, friends, and the dedicated staff of Council, Trish and Fiona. Your support has been invaluable, and together we have made a positive impact on our community. During my time as a mayor, I had the honor of meeting remarkable individuals, including Helen Bingley, OBE, the High Sheriff of Lancashire. I have become a great fan of her and the work she does, particularly in her efforts on projects building schools for girls and boys, as well as hospitals in Pakistan, near the Peshawar-Afghan border. Together we aim to spread peace and understanding. I also had the pleasure of attending open days at local mosques and churches where everyone was invited to come. Together we share in the spirit of unity. It is this very spirit that strengthens our community. As I step down from this esteemed position, I carry with me the memories of this incredible journey and a heart full of hope for Pendle future. Thank you for allowing me to serve as your mayor. It has truly been a remarkable experience. Thank you very much.
Appointment of Deputy Mayor, Rural Council.
Can I give this to Trish?
Yeah, you can, yeah.
As a remarkable driver and also and the support you've given me. Thank you.
Appointment of Deputy Mayor, Rural Council Stone.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and congratulations. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, councillors, I'm honoured to move the motion that Councillor Nadeem Ahmed be appointed Deputy Mayor of the Borough for the municipal year 2025-26. As many of you will know, Nadeem is a very dedicated councillor. In fact, he is so dedicated that he's the only person who has been on the council so long that he's now eligible to be Deputy Mayor and Mayor for a second term. And still all at the tender age of 30. We are fortunate actually in Pendle that Nadeem decided to devote himself to Pendle and the lives of the family and the community, because as some of you will also know, he did potentially have the option of a career in the midfield of Manchester United. He did turn that down, luckily for all of us. He's always fair, wise and considered, and I count Nadeem as a wonderful friend. And like Mr. Mayor, he never appears to get angry. I couldn't think of a better candidate for the post of Deputy Mayor. I move.
Seconder, Liberal Democrats. Ibrahim Newman. Yeah. Seconded. Supported by Councillor Army.
I move.
You move.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Supported by Councillor Army.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First of all, I congratulate you on the becoming of the Mayor of Pendle and also on this honour. And secondly, Mr. Mayor, I fully support the nomination of Councillor Nadeem Ahmed as the Deputy Mayor of Pendle. Thank you.
Councillor Nadeem Ahmed be hereby appointed Deputy Mayor of Borough for the municipal year 2025-26. All those in favour? Carried.
Mr. Deputy Mayor, congratulations.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. I, Nadeem Ahmed, having been appointed to the office of Deputy Mayor, declare that I take that office upon myself and will duly and faithfully fulfil the duties of it according to the best of my judgment and ability. I undertake to observe the code as to the conduct which is expected of members of Pendle Borough Council. Mr. Mayor, I would like to start by congratulating you on your appointment as Mayor of Pendle and your wife as Mayoress. Congratulations must also go to your family and friends who no doubt are extremely proud of you on this very special occasion. I'm sure, Mr. Mayor, you will make a wonderful Mayor representing Pendle. As your Deputy Mayor, I look forward to supporting you and I'm confident we will make a good team over your mayoral term of office. I'm grateful to my wife, Ruxana, for agreeing to be my Deputy Mayoress for the second time and for putting up with me all these years. I would like to thank my colleagues for putting my name forward on behalf of our group. I'm also grateful to all the colleagues who have spoken today, who have moved, supported and seconded and supported the motion. As is the tradition as Deputy Mayor, I will keep my speech very brief tonight to conclude by simply saying congratulations once again, Mr. Mayor. We look forward to supporting you and the Mayoress. Thank you. Item 5, Mayor's allowance, I'll take long.
Mr. Mayor, can I move that you have the huge sum of £6,130 paid for you for the purposes of carrying out your duties, and should there be any money left, the council will that be accepted.
Seconded.
Can I second that, Mr Mayor?
That an allowance of £6,100 be paid to the Mayor for the purpose of enabling him to meet the expenses of office, and that such allowance be paid to the credit of the Mayor at the council bankers and credit balance remaining at the date of the next annual meeting of the council will be associated to the council account. All those in favour? Carried. I, Mohammed Amr, being the Mayor of Pendle for the municipal year 2025-26, do hereby appoint Reverend Lorelli A. Hilliard and Imam Kari Al Mahmood to act as the Mayor's chaplain during my year of office. Before we have an adjournment for 15 minutes, I just want to thank you all the guests that have come here at my mayor's ceremony, especially my family from Scotland, from Yorkshire, and all my family. Thank you very much.
Councillors, ladies and gentlemen, please keep standing for His Worship Mayor of Pendle, Mohammed Amr.
All of the future Pendle meeting agendas, as well as previous meeting reports and minutes, can be viewed on the council website at pendle.gov council.uk/meetings. Tonight's session will start shortly.
Pendle Council livestream will start in just a few minutes. You can view tonight's meeting agenda by visiting pendle.gov.uk/meetings, where the upcoming meeting notes are available to view. We will go live very soon.
All of the future Pendle meeting agendas, as well as previous meeting reports and minutes, can be viewed on the Council website at pendle.gov.uk/meetings. Tonight's session will start shortly.
standing for His Worship the Mayor of Pendle, Councillor Mohammed Amma.
Sit down, thank you. Councillors, can you get seated, please? Thank you very much. Before start with the rest of the meeting, I would like to welcome new councillor for Wyvern Bridge. Welcome. Item 7, declarations of interest. Councillor Iqbal?
No declaration.
No? Okay. All those in favour? No? Okay. Appointment of leader of the council and the executive. Councillor Iqbal.
Mr Mayor, with your indulgence, may I request a 15-minute recess to allow some discussions to continue between 1, 2 or 3 groups, please.
Do you have a seconder?
Second, Mr Mayor.
All those in favour? That's carried. Okay.
Councillors, ladies and gentlemen, please stand for His Worship the Mayor of Pendle, Mohammed Amma.
This Pendle Council livestream will start in just a few minutes. You can view tonight's meeting agenda by visiting pendle.gov.uk/meetings, where the upcoming meeting notes are available to view. We will go live very soon.
All of the future Pendle meeting agendas, as well as previous meeting reports and minutes, can be viewed on the council website at pendle.gov.uk/meetings. Tonight's session will start shortly.
gentlemen, please be standing for His Worship the Mayor of Pendle, Mohammed Ahmed.
Thank you. Can you have a seat, please?
We introduce the item now.
We'll start with appointment of the leader of the council and executive. Appointment of leader. Do you have a mover?
Yes.
Councillor Iqbal.
Mr. Mayor, can I move Councillor David Wick to be leader of the council?
Do you have a seconder?
I'll second that, Mr. Mayor.
Oh. Thank you, Councillor Lord. All those in favour? Against?
So 4-17 against 8.
So we've got 4-17, 8 against. So that is Kai David Whip, you're the leader of Pendle Council.
Can I thank the council very much for that, and I hope to discharge the duties of leader in the fashion that I have worked on this council for the last 45 years in an inclusive and consensual way, working with all parties to the benefit of the people of the borough. With that in mind, Mr. Mayor, can I propose as deputy leader Councillor Asdad Mamoon?
You have a seconder?
There's no need to second. It's the choice of the leader. It's the choice of the leader.
That's fine. So appointment of deputy leader, Councillor Asdad Mamoon. Item C, appointment of executive.
Mr. Mayor, I intend to have an executive of leader plus 3 members of the independent group, 3 members of the Liberal Democrat group, and 1 the leader of the Conservative group. Mr. Mayor, I would have liked to include the true independents in that arrangement, but they have stated quite forcefully that they wouldn't participate in an arrangement of such a nature with the Conservatives. So I accept their position. So it's an executive of leader plus 3, 3, 1.
Local Government and Housing Act 1989, political balance rule. Just to be noted.
Mr. Mayor, can I move that we do note the political balance rules? You'll see that our group is dumbed down somewhat with 15 places due to us, but only actually getting 12. In view of the leadership of the council, our group is happy or content, I would say, to accept that position, and I move that we vote.
Right. Item appointments to committees.
Mr. Mayor, can I propose that we do appoint committees as set out on the numbers indicated, and ask that the group submit names immediately following the conclusion of this meeting, if not before. We have a meeting of development management next Tuesday, so it's incumbent upon us to identify those members this evening. So I would move that.
So for all the committees, all the committee, accounts, audit, event, all the committees that you say.
I move in, on item 10,
Okay.
the numbers set out
Okay.
according to the political balance rules.
Don't need a vote.
Do we- Right, appointment of chairman of the committees.
Point of order, Mr. Mayor. Can I just ask, was the leader not meant to be on the? I know it might be a choice, but it seems a bit. It's a matter of preference. I'm just asking the question.
It's a matter of preference.
Mr. Mayor, I'm more than happy to sit here in the body of the meeting, at least for this meeting. When you're firing bullets at me, I'm more than happy to not get our people injured in the crossfire. So I'll sit up there.
I can shoot from anywhere, Mr. Mayor, but that's fine.
Right. So appointment to working groups.
Mr. Mayor, appointment to chairman of committees.
Right.
Could I move that, should they wish to accept it, the chair of the Accounts and Audit Committee be an appointment from the Conservative group if they want to confer to see whether they want to put somebody forward for that. And in the event that the Conservatives don't put a name forward, by the time I get to the end of this bit, we will propose Councillor Ruby Anwar, who did an exemplary job last year. For Development Management Committee, Councillor Adnan, Licensing Committee, Councillor Tennant, Overview and Scrutiny Committee, Councillor Church, but in respect of Overview and Scrutiny, that there shall be 2 vice or deputy chairs, and that triumvirate is the dynamic force at the heart of Overview and Scrutiny, in order to ensure that there are contributions from most sides of the council chamber. Senior Management Appointments Committee, myself. Taxi Licensing Committee, Brian Newman. So if I could just pause a moment, Mr. Mayor, and look to my left to see a Conservative nominee for a council audit. No? No? Okay.
We're happy to see you. We're happy to start.
Okay. So in that case, can I propose Councillor Ruby Anwar as chair of a council audit?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Can I move a slight amendment? I waited from the list of A to F, and I was hoping that Councillor Whip might recognise the PTI group as needing or warranting or deserving a chairmanship. As he went from A to F, that didn't happen. But can I propose that for the PTI group, Councillor Ashraf is the chair of Taxi Licensing Committee.
Yes, second that.
I think first of all we need a second for Councillor Whip's list of chair.
Yeah. Do you have a second, Councillor Whip? Yeah.
Okay, so the amendment is. We need to vote on that amendment.
So we vote on the amendment first from Councillor Yasser Iqbal. All those in favour?
Did you count? 40. Yeah. Against?
Against? Go with my original.
Which was?
In favour of, yes.
Right. So that. That's carried.
The amendment carried.
So that's,
yeah.
Well, that's a substantive motion as regards that chairmanship. So we need to vote on that again. That's the substantive motion for that chairmanship, so we need to vote on it again.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Councillor Honey.
can you explain what's happening? I'm confused.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Could you speak up, please, because I can't hear you?
Yes, through the mayor. Yeah, don't worry, I'll speak up. Councillor Whip and who was seconded proposed a list of chairmen. There was an amendment to that list for one of the chairmanships. That was carried, the amendment was carried, but under the procedure, we have to then have that as the substantive motion for that chairmanship, so we have to vote again, even though it seems a bit strange to be doing so, but that's the procedure. So we have to repeat the vote on whether or not we are happy to accept that chairmanship decision. So again, all those in favour.
Mr. Mayor, can I just be clear on the numbers on the voting? On that amendment?
14, 14.
14, 14, and I had the casting vote.
You use your casting vote?
Yeah, I use my casting vote, yeah. So we go with this.
Need to do that again.
From Councillor Yasser Iqbal.
Yeah. All
those in favour? Oh.
90. Against?
Right, so the first motion carried.
90.
Now to
Councillor
the rest of the chairman of the committees. Do you have a seconder?
Sorry, Mr. Mayor, I thought we were
yes, sorry.
yeah. On the total.
Yes, it is. Sorry, my mistake. We have, yeah.
So
that's dealt with now.
So next item 12, appointment of working groups.
Mr. Mayor, could I propose that the membership of the Climate Emergency Working Group, 7 members, and that the nominations from each group are submitted accordingly. And similarly on the governance working group, which I'm not sure has met in recent times, but my view, and this is subject to comments around the chairman, is that we would benefit from having a local government reorganisation working group, and that ought to comprise between 5 and 7 members of the council, and be inclusive of the group membership. So my proposal would be 2-2-1. So 2 members of the Liberal Democrat group, 2 members of the Independent group, 2 members of the Conservative group, and 1 member of the Pendle True Independent group. And so that governance working group would become a local government reorganisation working group comprising of 7 members on those numbers.
Do you have a seconder?
I'll second that.
All those in favour? Against? That's carried. Dates of the council meeting for 25-26. I move these meetings.
I'll second that, Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Mayor, happy to support the dates. In terms of the venues, could I propose a small rider in terms of Development Management Committee to read that the meetings of the Development Management Committee shall normally be held in Nelson Town Hall, but that where there is a major or otherwise controversial application from elsewhere in the borough, that the meeting be held in the locality of that application. So it's agreeing with the dates, agreeing with the times, but putting a rider to ensure that meetings of development management where they are in, say, Colne, the meeting should be held in Colne. If it's in West Craven, it would be held in West Craven. And that protocol be actioned after this next meeting that we've already got arranged.
Councillor, what do you mean by controversial?
Well, Mr. Mayor, I think it's, in essence, it's the major applications that come before development management. So they are in excess, I think it's 65, 66 houses, developments of that nature.
Your seconder?
Yeah.
That's fine. Okay, that's carried. All those in favour? That's carried. Item 14, appointment of representatives on outside bodies.
Mr. Mayor, if I could lead the council through this.
Mr. Mayor, can I raise a point of order? Pendle Ledger Trust was an appeal on this. Is there a reason?
Can I invite the interim chief executive to comment, who's obviously astounded at this question. Pendle Leisure Trust, not on the list. We'll have it.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yes, we all have that. Thank you. My apologies for the inconvenience.
Sorry, Mr. Mayor, can I ask for a point of clarification on that? Because it's not here, is it just one appointment?
One from each
One from each group. Alright, so can I just seek for the avoidance of doubt that we have a representative, when I say we, the PTI group have a representation on Pendle Leisure? I move that, and that needs to be moved.
Is there a seconder?
Mr. Mayor, when Councillor Iqbal said there's one from each of the groups, it is three, we appoint 3 members to the Leisure Trust, and I think that's incorporated within the governance of the trust. I'm not sure that unilaterally we can say, well, we want 5 or 4 or however many. So it may be that it is not in our gift to appoint a 4th member.
Councillor Clark?
I agree with what Councillor Wood is saying, Mr. Mayor, but I think if we've never been in this situation of having 4 groups on the council. I think if we appoint 4, subject to checking with the Leisure Trust Board, PTI can nominate a person, and if the Leisure Trust Constitution, or whatever it's called, allows that, that's fine. We don't need to come back to the council.
You have a seconder, Councillor Clark?
I'll second that.
All those in favour?
So, returning to the list, Mr. Mayor, looking at the first page, we have no changes that we wish to make apart from those that are by virtue of the leadership of the council, which the District Council Network and Growth Lancashire Limited. Otherwise, as set out.
Okay. You have a seconder, Councillor Witt? Need to vote on this. All those in favour?
Page 2, Mr. Mayor, we've got the joint ventures. I will propose those as set out. The two which are the leader of the council, I would propose obviously to swap those around, and all the others as set out. Can I move that?
You have a seconder?
Seconded.
All those in favour?
Page 3, Mr Mayor, we have North West Employers and the Pendle Vision Board, where it's the leader of the council, and in terms of the Pendle Vision Board it's the leader plus 3, and I would leave it to the independent group to determine who they would include on the vision board.
Mr Mayor, if I can place yourself with Councillor Iqbal.
I think the point on the vision board is it's one leader plus 3, so there's one member of the independent group. So you've got Hanif and yourself.
Yeah,
Mr Mayor, Councillor Ash to have a room from the independent.
Yeah.
You have a seconder? Yeah, that's fine. Page 4.
I think that's it, Mr Mayor.
Member champion for 25-26. You okay with them views? Councillor Ash.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Can I propose that Councillor Sarah Coburn-Price is the Young People Including Every Child Matters champion, or in her work with Colony Youth Action Group, she will be a very fitting champion.
You have a seconder? All those in favour?
Mr Mayor, can I just clarify, is that in addition to or instead of?
That would be instead of, Mr Mayor.
Instead of. Instead of.
Can I suggest that Councillor Godfrey Lord remains in post?
You have a second on the vote on it. All those in favour of sorry? For Dorothy Lord to be their champion. All those in favour?
Surely it's the amendment first.
Yeah, that's what we do.
That was the amendment. The amendment's carried. So the amendment's been carried. Have you voted on the amendment?
That's the substantive, yeah.
So that's the substantive motion now. So all those in favour? That was the proposal. That was the proposal.
Mr Mayor, could I, on behalf of some people in here, we are getting slightly confused about amendments and who's voting for what, but could it be more clear that certain people in this room are unsure what they're voting for? I can hear it from here, what they're voting for. So it would be more clear, and could you please speak up, my friend?
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Mr Mayor. No, your friend.
Mr Mayor, through you, what's happened there is Councillor Sutcliffe proposed a different member champion, and that was seconded. But we then had an amendment to that, which was that a councillor Lord continue as the current member champion. That was seconded. That was carried. So we're at the point now where that becomes a substantive motion. If there's an amendment to that substantive motion, then we can have that as well. If there is one. Is there another one?
Mr Mayor, thank you. Just clarify on that, because Councillor Sutcliffe proposed an amendment, and Councillor Iqbal then referred back to Dorothy Lord, which was the original motion in the first place. So therefore, should we not be voting on the amendment first?
Mr. Mayor, can I just clarify? I mean, Councillor Lordsdale was on the sheet, but in effect at annual council every name disappears off the sheet in effect. All the things he was referring to was what was there last year, so Councillor Sutcliffe moved a motion to have Councillor Sarah Coleman-Prest. I moved an amendment to that. But you were right, Mr. Mayor, to have the vote the way that you did that.
Yes, so the vote was that Councillor Dorothy Lord is the champion for young people to every child matter. And that vote was won. So
That's the substantive. Is there any more amendments?
Is there any more amendments to that?
Well, proposals, Mr. Mayor.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, could I propose an additional member to the Armed Forces Champion? I'd like to propose Councillor Andy Bell as an ex-serviceman on there to work with us.
Can I second that, Mr. Mayor? I think we're working up to a platoon of people, and I know that Andy, with his record of service, will be an excellent contribution to that team.
Councillor Neil.
Andy, ex-forces, so it's good. What we want to be careful of now is it's nothing to do with anger or anything like that, is that when people are trying to catch an armed forces champion, they'll have 4 to go at. So may I suggest that we have an head of the armed forces champion, and may I nominate Kevin? He already has contacts in lots and lots of places, and myself, I've been there for 16 years. I look to him because he has all the technical knowledge and he has all the connections. So may I present him as the lead in the armed forces little group?
I'd like to second that. Yeah, he's brilliant.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Councillor Sloan.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Another further proposal that Councillor Sarah Coburn-Price becomes the member champion for sustainable travel.
You have a seconder?
I'll second that. Mr. Mayor, I move an amendment that Councillor Wick, to my left, is appointed the member champion for sustainable transport. Only yesterday we were talking about the use of the vehicle that is currently being used to get to work in South Yorkshire, and on return to the final year, the final year of this degree at university, that vehicle is being given up, and transport will be by train and by public transport and by bike, and I think there is an excellent example in this council paper of somebody who actually puts his feet where the mouth is and intends to practice what we preach in terms of sustainable transport. I think an excellent person to lead on this. So I move.
You have a second?
I'll second that.
We have an amendment. Can we go to the vote? All those in favour? That's carried.
Mr. Mayor, can I move the rest of the list with the amendment, with the proposals that have all been carried, so that move it in its entirety.
Seconder? All those in favour? Against? That's carried. Item 15, the review of Cobra Plan 23-27 and Action Plans 25-27. Councillor Wick.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This arises from a resolution we passed at the last council meeting, I think it was, where we asked Mr. Conway to go away, have a look at the council plan, to come with a restatement of council priorities in the light of local government reorganisation, with a particular emphasis on the localisation of assets in order to ensure their continued existence when we have a unitary authority, obviously on a much bigger footprint than Pendle itself. Now, I'll be quite honest, we had a town council meeting in Glen Alswick last night, and we were busy at that annual meeting, and I have no idea what the outcome of the executive resolution is. So I cannot, as leader of the council, say, like, well, the executive already thinks that. If with the consent of the council, I wonder if Mr Conway can outline any changes that have been made to the document that was circulated as a consequence of overview and scrutiny and executive consideration. The bit that I'm interested in is whether sufficient weight is given to that localisation of assets. And if there isn't sufficient weight, I'm suggesting that we just beef it up a bit. Mr Mayor, can I ask your indulgence?
Yeah, second.
Thank you, Mr Mayor, and thank you, Leader of the Council. If I may just defer in the first instance to the Deputy Leader and the Chair of the ONS Committee, who have both worked through this particular process. And if I may add any comments after they have had their opportunity to present to the members of this council. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Mr Mayor, at our meeting in March 2025, as Councillor Nichols alluded to, we instructed the interim Chief Executive, Lawrence Conway, to undertake a review of the corporate plan and its subsequent action plan. What we have before us this evening is the results of that review. Whilst the initial request was to look at the issue of adding pace to our transfer of assets to town and parish councils, the review process was also timely in terms of looking at all priorities with an eye on local government reorganisation. The corporate plan is a key document, along with our constitution and local plan, that enables us to identify, deliver and influence others in the pursuit of our community's needs and aspirations. The four council priorities remain a solid foundation for us to work on and a vision for us to work towards. There is the suggestion that to clearly identify these priorities in our own minds, in the minds of our community and partners, that the plan is renamed as Council Plan. This would engender a greater sense of ownership across all areas of work and all partners, and easily identifiable as our plan to our communities. The plan will now also cover the period up to and including 2028, so to avoid cost of updating and preparing a whole new plan for one single year due to potential impacts of LGR. The action plan is reviewed and updated each year, and this should not affect any outcomes in our priority themes, but will also enable us a further year to achieve them. With regards to the action plan, this will remain our action plan for the period up to 2027. The changes made are better reflect those issues that affect our communities to the highest degree to ensure that their visibility is enhanced and therefore our resources are allocated accordingly. For example, by increasing the visibility in the plan of the levels of poverty, deprivation, the needs for more jobs, skills, and education for our young people, the need for high wages to tackle health inequalities that exist, particularly with lower life expectancies in many other parts of the UK. This updated plan will give us a stronger voice and influence with those organisations and individuals that must help us deliver our priorities. The corporate plan or the council plan and actions have also been reviewed in terms of local government reorganisation, and where increased activity is required, for example, the suggested cross-party working group to monitor progress, to review the workforce and member development policies, to provide the necessary skills and learning to prepare members and officers for what is likely. Our Overview and Scrutiny Committee has also made the recommendations on the priority areas, and these have been put to the Executive Committee last night, and those were accepted and passed. Finally, it is clear from our own financial position that we must urgently review and update our financial planning, and the recommendation to undertake this work is urgent and must be brought back to the Council as soon as possible. These changes will put Council on a clear path to whatever collective future may hold, and will be the narrative we use with all our partners to collaborate in achieving our priorities and actions. I would like to put on record my thanks to Overview and Scrutiny for their work and that of our officers, especially the Chief Executive, and hope that members see the full extent of the importance of these documents and join me in agreeing and recommending them to in the electoral top 10. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have the report from the Overview and Scrutiny Committee, which was presented to the Executive, as the Council says, and also to this body, if I may read it, please. The committee were asked to review the proposed revisions to the existing corporate plan undertaken by the interim Chief Executive at the instructions of full Council in March 25. The original remit was to overlay the potential requirements of local government organisations throughout the plan and to undertake a more proactive position on the transfer of assets to town and parish councils. The interim Chief Executive outlined those proposed changes along with a refresh of the existing priority themes and actions to bring the plan fully up to date. The ONS Committee were given a full briefing of all proposed draft changes as contained in the report, which you have now, along with the reasoning behind each of these proposed changes. Beginning with the corporate plan itself, the committee raised questions on a number of points. For example, the necessity to include the transfer of assets to town and parish councils under priority 2 rather than just another action in the action plan. The committee also wished to see the inclusion of the expansion of existing cemetery sites rather than just the one named site. The committee agreed that these particular points must be included in the corporate plan final version. The committee had further suggestions or comments on the, had no further comments on the proposed draft corporate plan and agreed changes as suggested. As to the action plan 25-27, the interim Chief Executive again outlined the proposed changes and rationale behind the suggested changes, explaining each under their respective priority theme. The committee had a series of questions and comments answered by the interim Chief Executive. For example, the action plan must clearly state what it is, as no definable title existed in the draft, and this may result in a lack of clarity when referring to the document in future. The committee also discussed the commencement of work on a new local plan, whilst the existing local plan is currently being expected and the outcome is not yet known. It was agreed that further work will be needed to establish a future work programme under the National Planning Policy Framework. The committee agreed that the proposed changes should be received and agreed as written, with reference to the action plan and title issue being adopted. Further discussion took place with the committee and interim Chief Executive as to whether any of the actions may need additional visibility and monitoring in the light of local community organisation and the Council's financial stability. It was suggested by the interim Chief Executive that the following actions receive further attention and monitoring to ensure the Council's continued ability to deliver on priorities and be best placed to tackle the local government reorganisation. I'm sure the interim chief executive will furnish further details, but very roughly these suggestions were: priority 1, providing high quality services and facilities; financial resilience, continue to deliver a balanced 3-year medium-term forecast while delivering effective services and identify savings as part of service improvements. This will be done by a budget working group with reports to the full council in due course. Local government reorganisation, submit proposal with neighbouring authorities as per council preferred options. It was suggested this take place via a cross-party working group to monitor the work that needs to be undertaken at a timely manner to allow the council to make its decision based on information available. Liberata contract, agree and begin delivery of customer contact strategy, agree and begin delivery of IT strategy, deliver the workforce strategy. Governance, complete the review of the constitution, transfer of assets, implement the next wave of asset transfer. It was also suggested by the interim chief executive that a new item be added to cover member learning development events and opportunities to increase knowledge with regards to local government reorganisation and its potential future impacts. I see the red light, Mr Mayor, that there are further matters which the interim chief executive would enlighten on, I'm sure. Thank you.
Councillor, do you want to say anything? Or?
Yes, Mr Mayor, I'm waiting with bated breath for Mr Conway to conclude the contributions from both the overview, scrutiny and executive, and confirm that we have included that more proactive approach to the localisation of assets, transfer of facilities to parish and town councils within the plan.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Can I just make one point? Obviously, it's a document with lots of track changes on it, which we all like, see how they all follow through. On page 12, we talk about how do we help the community. The very bottom one talks about working partnership to improve the service offered for young people. And yet, going to the back page, there's no reference to young people at all. There's no action arising from that priority. And I just wondered if something could be done. Halfway up the penultimate page, go to page 7, in the health and wellbeing section, there's this reference to holiday food activities. I think actually that should be termed holiday activities with food, as we all know it as HAF. HAF has expanded in recent years, and the Code Youth Action Group does the best performing one across the country, as scored by Pendle's officers. And it's one of those ones whereby it's very local to each community groups and volunteers and deliver those things. We understand though now a lot of the funding for that, which comes from central government to LCC, out to Pendle and out to these community groups, has now been allocated to Pendle Leisure Trust to deliver these things. So it's all being coordinated in various places instead. That's not the greatest way to deliver it, in our opinion. So I would ask that the HAF scheme is revisited as part of these actions, and that something is added to reflect the priority for delivering the best outcomes and outputs for young people.
Thank you, Mr Mayor, and thank you, Councillor. I will endeavour to look into those points and come back to you as soon as possible. In terms of the leaders' comments on the transfer of assets, yes, I can assure you that that has been included in the priorities, but also it's one of those priorities that the Chair of ONS also wanted to be enhanced in terms of our monitoring and our performance. So not only will it be on the normal business as usual list, there are a list of other priorities that I will finish off that will get that additional monitoring to make sure that we are on target to deliver those things. So just to again finish from the Chair of ONS, under Priority 2, Proudly Connected Communities and Places, it was suggested that again we look at these enhanced priorities under the continue to develop the Pendle Partnership and support the related actions, so that we can ensure that all of the key elements of this council plan and its actions are enabled through our partnerships, where we take our priorities, they take their priorities, and we work together to achieve our best endeavours on all of those things. So again, continuing to develop a partnership to ensure that this council plan and other organisations' plans get the attention that they deserve. Again, under the Priority 2 was to deliver the new community cohesion strategy and the community engagement strategy and action plan. Under Priority 3 was to proceed with the examination and adoption of the local plan, to establish a skills and employment framework, to carry out a business confidence survey across Pendle. And the Priority 4 was to work with Pendle's Health and Wellbeing Partnership to deliver on its priorities. So they were highlighted by the committee as areas where they would like to see extra monitoring and making sure that those things were delivered on the council's behalf. That, I believe, would be the completion of the ONS work. Thank you.
Yeah, just like to add a couple of comments, if I may. First of all, thank you to the interim chief exec, who's looked at. I think the corporate plan itself was a good starting point, I believe, but there were some points in there which needed more detail on it, and some of the issues which are current, such as government reorganisation, have been brought into this, so it's been updated and refreshed. And I think some of the more pressing issues are highlighted more clearly, I think, in the updated report. So thank you to the interim chief exec, chair of the scrutiny committee, and the exec as well. Thank you.
Any more speakers?
Mr Mayor, if I can formally move that the council adopt this revised council plan and thank all the contributions to the discussion both this evening and over the last couple of days, and to the management team in their rapid and I think quite good review which has been carried out over the last few weeks. So I would move that we do adopt this new council plan.
Second. All those in favour? That's carried. Item 16, Community Cohesion Strategy and Community Engagement Strategy.
Mr Mayor, can I move that we do adopt this?
Second. All those in favour? Carried. Land and Property Asset Management Strategy.
Mr Mayor, I omitted to bring this quite thick document with me. I thought that it would be worthy going through it page by page, line by line this evening. I think council will be grateful that I haven't brought it with me. Mr Mayor, I want to put an overarching statement up front with this, following the discussion that we've just had with the council plan, so that the resolution will read, and it's that, this is the wording to insert, subject to the more proactive approach included in the council plan for transfer of assets to parish and town councils, the land and property asset management strategy as now proposed be approved and adopted on the basis for the council's management of its land and property, and that the action plan, similarly influenced by the asset transfer strategy, be approved for implementation. Mr. Mayor, this land and property asset management strategy was drawn up over quite a lengthy period. It's a very thorough document, very comprehensive document, and it literally includes references to every blade of grass and every brick that the council is responsible for. This plan was drawn up during a period when the expectation was that the council would carry on, that there wouldn't be any local government reorganisation. And as a consequence, there are elements within it that we would wish to tweak in due course. So my purpose in introducing the proviso, subject to a more proactive approach, is to give that flexibility in order for the proper approach to be made in respective circumstances. So it's not seeking to alter any of the detail at this point, but have a get out of jail clause which says we need to look at particular recommendations in the light of LGR, and we need to bend a bit in order to accommodate the council's wishes with the advent of local government reorganisation. So with that proviso, can I move this as a strategy, please? Thank you.
Second. All those in favour? Notes on motion, vote on payment repair.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It's at this point I wish I had brought myself a cup of water in. My motion is prompted by two things. First thing is the state of the road and pavements across Pendle, which are quite frankly in an appalling state. It's good to see the Conservative group staying to debate these important issues, or not, as the case may be. I welcome the continuing participation of half the Conservative group anyway. The motion reads that Council welcomes the promise by the new administration at Lancashire County Council to properly repair every pothole. Accordingly, this council resolves to invite the appropriate new cabinet member at LCC to visit Pendle to see some of the potholed highways in the borough, accompanied by representatives from all groups on this authority. In other words, Mr. Mayor, we have a small team of councillors pointing at potholes, but highlighting the defective pavements and carriageways that we've got across the piece, and inviting the new administration at County Hall to come good on what they promised, which was literally repair every pothole. And I would like to see those potholes repaired properly rather than bodged up, as we have seen all too often in the past. Mr. Mayor, as a representative for Ealing Courts Ward, we've got a notorious junction at the junction of New Road, Victoria Road, with the A56, which I hesitate to show you the pictures, but it's been patched up that many times. I mean, patchwork quilt doesn't come into it. It's there's no original bitmap left, it's all patches. And it is frankly diabolical. It would be relatively inexpensive to plane the whole of that area out, put a decent layer of bitmap in, and it would make it a lot safer, and it would make it a lot cheaper in the long run to actually maintain it, because the number of times that it's been patched up, or should I say bodged up, it would have been far cheaper 5 years ago to do a proper job in the first place. That's just an example, and I'm not going to go through loads of examples, but it's not only a case of comfort for the travelling public, it's a case of safety. I will give an example because it's recently been concluded where this council has renewed a rotten pavement on Victoria Road in Erie and put some decent flags down which are level, smooth, trip-free, and people in Erie are absolutely delighted with that work. This is a pavement that the County Council could have dealt with many, many years ago, but declined to do so. The County Council, a few years ago, even said they would put money into that pavement improvement, but then withdrew £50,000 of funding, leaving us to carry the can and Pendle Council to put money in as well. So, a couple of examples there. One where work is still needed, an example where Pendle Council has actually stepped into the gap and literally filled the gaps in that area. I think this is an opportunity with the new administration at County Hall to have a reasonable discussion, a reasonable dialogue, and hopefully a reasonable outcome for the roads and pavements in Pendle and for the residents of Pendle as well. And I move.
Councillor Gasnick-Wall.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Mayor, Councillor Bell was due to second.
Do you want to second?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to second that. I know I live in the area of Corn, but we know that at the moment there's big investment going into Nelson, and hopefully a lot of that money will go into improvement of the roads and the footpaths. But the problem is, like I say, AB and Corn area, the heavily trafficked routes where the buses are, especially the estates, the roads are absolutely diabolical. Councillor Ashford and agree with me on Windybank, where he's got his shop, that road, it's just been redone and it is in absolutely diabolical condition. We'd like these for LCC to come out and say, look at what you're doing, this is what we're leaving us with. As Councillor Whip did say, it's a safety issue as well as a health and safety. Well, it's a health and safety issue. It's something's going to happen, and they need to come and keep their promise and get these roads and footpaths to a decent standard that maintains a decent standard and not a, as I would say, a quick farming job. We're back in 6 months if we can. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor, we've discussed the issue of highways and potholes, I think, numerous times over the course of the few years, and nothing seems to be being done. And we've seen, have we not, the different colours of administrations that have ruled over County Council. Previously it was the Conservatives, prior to that was the Labour Party, and nothing seems to be done. And Councillor Waite is right, of course, that the new administration has promised to address the issues of potholes. And I think we are fortunate that one of the county councillor, the new councillor who are welcome again formally, is a county councillor, and I hope that this message is passed on loud and clear to them, that something drastic needs to be done. And one of the key issues is, when we knock on doors, is potholes, road safety. That is, I would say, the top 3 issues that people always complain about, especially with county council issues. There are obviously national issues, which I won't go into, but for local issues, that is one of the key and the top priorities of the residents of Pendle, along with the cost of living, along with the rates of council tax and the deteriorating services that we receive as residents, or that we can provide as a council. So I do welcome this motion, and I think that something actually needs to be done this time, and I think again we are fortunate we've got at least 4 county councillors here who I'm sure will do their best, and potentially the leader of the opposition, I think, who sat upstairs potentially, I'm not sure if he's formally the leader of the opposition, but he might be at some stage. He will, I'm sure, do his utmost to get the message across. Mr. Mayor, so I second or support the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm happy to support this, as previously I was happy to support invitations when it was a Conservative-run administration at LCC. I'm more than happy to invite somebody along to see the state of our roads in Pendle. As Councillor Bell alluded to, some of the roads that we're very familiar with, Windybank desperately needs resurfacing. Only yesterday was actually done with some bits, small pothole filling to take some of the most dangerous parts away. But it has been inspected on a regular basis. That's something that I took to make sure that it was inspected, and it was promised that it would be brought forward with the deterioration fund. Of course, one of the outgoing administration of the County Council's gifts was through the prudent financial management of the County Council. There was an extra £45 million budgeted for highways this financial year. So I hope that the new administration of that council uses that very wisely and allocates a suitable allocation to Pendle, and that we get our fair share here to make sure that roads like the ones that you mentioned in Barnsley and you jumped at 865, wasn't it? And we're back. So I'm happy to support this motion.
Well, yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll be supporting the motion. Just before a point that Councillor Sutcliffe has mentioned that the previous Conservative administration, through their prudence, had left 45 million. Clearly it was prudent, because certainly in Pendle no potholes were really actually being filled. So if that's prudence, then that's the reason why the Conservatives were kicked out of power in County Hall. I campaigned across Bradfield and Nelson West, as you know, Mr. Mayor, and the number one issue on the doorstep was potholes, and I think the Conservatives got a thumping message from the residents of Bradfield and Nelson West and Nelson East and other places that their prudence was rejected on the doorstep. Yeah.
All those in favour of this motion? Against? Carried. The road and pavement repairs to be councillor.
I think there's a typo here, Mr. Mayor. We don't. It's not ground update.
Councillor Lowe.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And congratulations to you being elevated in what I call the top shelf. Have a lovely year. I'm presuming that people have read this motion.
Yes.
And I have read the report, the Ofsted report, and it appears, after reading the Ofsted report, that the system is clearly not working for a lot of families here and across all of Lancashire. So let me just read a couple of snippets from the report. Areas for improvement. Leaders across the partnership should continue to improve their communication strategies at all levels. This includes communicating with children and young people, with SEND and their families, so that they are kept better informed about the support that they receive. Plans in place to improve their outcome and when to access support and guidance while waiting for an assessment. Leaders across the partnership should continue to work to ensure that young people with SEND from across the whole of Lancashire are well prepared for adulthood and transition. And impact of this. Many parents and carers express significant frustration at the lack of being heard. They describe the lack of help, support and inability to communicate their concerns as overwhelming. Too many commented that the only way they can get help and be heard is when their child or young person is in crisis. That includes parents and carers who have children with EHC plans and those who have children who receive SEN support. There is also confusion about who they can talk to or receive help from when there are delays in assessment, diagnosis and support for their young child or young person's SENS needs. The team is far too small to meet the needs of the children, young people and their families across the whole of Lancashire. Designated clinical officers are not consistently advised of the outcomes of SEND appeals and tribunals. This hinders them from being able to monitor the effectiveness of processes and established improved oversight of ELC plans. GPs are not routinely made aware of children and young people who have a learning disability, although the Learning Disability Health Facilitation Team has supported GP practices to increase and improve awareness of learning disability. Annual health checks. And this means that GPs cannot make reasonable adjustments and these potentially vulnerable children and young people. When I've read this report, it seems to me it's a bit, there was something in there about communication and the lack of communication with different agencies. Now that reminds me of the Victoria Kimby thing that they came up with, the Every Child Matters framework, because nobody was communicating. And this jumps out at me that people are not communicating. And you know, I mean, I organise a disco in Colne, as some of you know. We have a lot of people with autism, with physical disabilities.
The Lord Mayor Appeal.
Oh, I didn't notice that. And you see and you hear it from the parents, how they're struggling, really struggling. I'd like these 4 people to take this up. I move the motion.
Second, Councillor Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Except to echo everything that Councillor Lord has said there, I really can only add, in the words of many great politicians in the past, it ought to be the greatest marker of any government body is to see how it treats the most vulnerable among it. And if there are failings here, it is the most important thing that should be addressed within the entire body. Thank you.
Councillor Buckley.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm happy to support this motion. It's obviously something that's not just pertinent, but it's also incredibly important and heartfelt by most residents across Pendle that engage with this same provision. One of the last cabinet meetings at LCC, an improvement plan was presented, so there is a publicly available document for the improvement plan that was presented there.
Sorry, Mr. Mayor. I'm sorry, Councillor.
So going to you.
Could you speak up? Some of us can't be, not just me.
So at the last Cabinet meeting of the administrative year, an improvement plan was presented about what LCC in particular were going to do. But I thank you, Councillor Law, for identifying that this is a partnership that delivers SEND. It's not one individual body that do this. So it's important. The failings are predominantly around communication that are highlighted in that document, and there are clear improvement points within that plan for you to see. The LCC identified that there have been issues with SEND provision and have put a series of funding behind that improvement and delivering better services over that past 4 years. There is obviously a wider problem. It's not just in Lancashire, and it was quite pertinent to see that the Minister for Education, Bridget Phillipson, said that we were facing an unprecedented rise in the need for SEND provision across the country. So I'm more than happy to support this. But in essence, we are asking for something that already exists. It is a publicly available document, and it should be there in the minutes from the last Cabinet meeting of the administrative year.
Councillor Bill.
Thank you. I also like to support this. I came across a situation yesterday where I was informed by one of my constituents. A friend of ours has got a child who's around about the 4-year-old, 5-year-old mark and is in dire need of assessment, where she was actually breaking down in tears because she cannot control the child. The child was lashing out, not as a naughty child, but somebody that was uncontrolled. But I agree that, with the help from LCC, it's communication, but it's actually trying to get the service out there as well, accessible to these children. Well, motion, support this motion.
Mr Mayor, I think SEND provision is something that rises above politics, and Councillor Sutcliffe talked about in the last Cabinet meeting at County in terms of an improvement plan. I think the opportunity is there to build on that improvement plan, not only at a county council level, but also at a government level, because SEND is not only an issue here in Pendle and across the county, it's an issue national. And I'm just wondering whether Councillor Ward would accept a friendly amendment that says that we ask both members of Parliament for Pendle to arrange a meeting for the administration, cross-party administration of this council and the county council, with the relevant minister to listen to first-hand what the problems are here. And I think that only will complement the improvement plan suggested by the previous administration at county.
Councillor Lord.
Thank you, Councillor Ekman. Yes, I will accept that.
Councillor Morgan.
Thank you. I think just agree with Councillor Iqbal in terms of the friendly amendment which Councillor Lord has accepted. I think in terms of this motion, I think it's a very good motion. We'll be supporting it. I think it's a national challenge. I think somebody mentioned it is a national issue. But here in Lancashire, I think the report that was brought forward clearly shows that the system is not fit for purpose. And that's being addressed as it is. And Councillor Sutcliffe mentioned that. So I think there's a huge way to go. But reading the report, I think that it does vary in terms of what it says, because I think what the report was saying is children with special education needs, which is identified from birth, seems to be slightly better provision because it's identified much earlier. I think it's the kids, as they're getting older, different needs are identified, and it's the biggest criticism is the time it's taking for that help and assistance for parents, and people are really struggling. So, yeah, we'll be supporting it. Thank you.
Councillor Whip.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Councillor Lord introduced this by saying, well, we've all read it, but I'm aware that there will be several hundred people who might be watching this discussion online who haven't a clue what we're talking about. So I'm going to read it out. So the motion is put, with the addition of the amendment that's been accepted, is that the Council notes the widespread failing in Lancashire's SEND provision identified in the recent Ofsted and CQC inspection of county council services. Council notes the policy statements issued by the party now running the county council and the impact that this has on families in Pendle. And Council resolves to request the new administration at Lancashire County Council to provide the clear improvement plan, setting out how those failures will be addressed. The thrust of this motion, backing up the requirement to have adequate SEND provision, is a request to the new reform councillors to say what they are going to do in the light of their leader, Mr Farage, statements that Senate provision will be swept away under their leadership. So the dynamic here is twofold. First of all, we want that decent provision, but we want to hear from the new administration at County Hall what they are going to do about it. Are they going to slash and burn and actually accept that the service will go to the wall, or are they going to put the improvements in place that are needed and as have been identified by the relevant inspection bodies? As someone commented earlier on, a site is judged by how it treats the most vulnerable, and some of the children who require SEND provision are the most vulnerable in those age groups. It's absolutely incumbent on all of us to try and ensure that the services that are available to those children, those families, are the very, very best that we can achieve. And a final point, clearly there are processes in place. Councillor Sutcliffe explained how the previous administration at County Hall had come up with an improvement plan. That is to be welcome. But yesterday evening, I heard a murmur that the new administration at County Hall were scrapping the consultation on the Lancashire local nature recovery strategy. Now, that's a requirement in law. It's something that has to be done according to the relevant Acts of Parliament. But it seems that people in charge at County Hall now are willing to go against what the law of the land requires. So what is going to happen in terms of children with disabilities? Are their services safe, or are their services under threat? As it stands at the moment, none of us know. Mr Mayor, I hope everybody in this council chamber will support this and do their utmost to ensure that it's actually implemented in due course.
Mr Mayor, can I just thank Councillor
Yes.
for that? I don't know what to do without him.
All those in favour? Against?
Thank you very much for the councillors. Have a good evening.
Councillors, ladies and gentlemen, please be standing for the Councillor Mohammed Khan.